Hello. This is a review session for Anatomy and Physiology 240 for the fall of 2020. And this is a review session for the first lab practical. And it's going to be a virtual lab practical, and it is going to be a oral exam. So I'm going to place each of you, the students, into the waiting room. I will bring the students in one at a time, and we will have an oral exam. It is not open book, and so you have to be watching the screen, and so can't go through notes when I ask, give you the questions. Okay, so I will give you a review quickly to tell you what to actually focus on for the exam. And starting out, we have the exercises that are going to be included are exercise 1, exercise 3, exercise 7, exercise 8, exercise 12, exercise 13, exercise 14, exercise 15. And so for exercise 1, I need you to go to page 3, and I want you to know all of those planes and directions. Then if you go to page 7, I want you to know all of those surface regions. And so that's how come I actually put this slide up, as this tells you a lot of the surface regions, but you all have probably already gotten all that filled out. And that's it for exercise 1. Exercise 3, we're going to start out at page 32. So if you go to page 32, I want you to know the fill-ins, fill in the blanks, and the multiple choice. So any of those, the lab practical is going to be the same questions as in the lab manual. That's why it cannot be open book. So know the fill in the blanks and know the multiple choice for exercise 3. And that's it for exercise 3. Exercise 7, we'll go to page 61. And on page 61, I do want you to know the epithelial cell types. So know when something's stratified, when something's simple, and then know squamous, cuboidal, columnar, pseudostratified. And so on page 70, for exercise 7, I want you to know the identification, identify the term associated with each description. And so I want you to know that. So exercise 7, you need to know the cell types and also identify the terms associated with each description. Okay, now for exercise 8, we'll go to page 80. And there we have a table 8-2. I want you to know the physical characteristics of those tissues. So know the physical characteristics of those tissues. And then on page 85, I want you to know the matching questions. So know the matching questions on page 85. Okay, then we'll go up to exercise 12. So exercise 12, we'll start with page 126. So this is for page 126 and then page 127 at the top. I need to the lateral view of the skull. And what I want you to know numbers, the red numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, 13. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 12, and 13. Those red numbers, I want you to be able to identify those bones on the frontal view or anterior view and the lateral view, okay, on the skull. And that's it for exercise 12. Exercise 13, we'll start with page 137. Page 137, I want you to know the structures of the vertebral column. So just the vertebral column. So all of those structures of the vertebral column. Then we'll go to page 139. I want you to know the structures of the thoracic cage. So the structures of the thoracic cage. Then we'll go to page 141, table 13-1. I want you to know the number of those different structures that are listed on table 13-1. And that's it for exercise 13. Exercise 14 will go to page 147, 148, and 149. Those pictures with the red numbers, the numbers I want you to know are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14, 15, 16, and 17. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 14, 15, 16, 17. So I need you to know those bones and be able to identify them on the bones that are on page 147, 148, and 149. And then for exercise 14, when you go to page 151, I want you to know the multiple choice questions. Know the multiple choice questions. And on page 152, I want you to know number of bones related to those structures in the upper extremities. So know the number of bones that are related to the structures in the upper extremities. Okay, so that's it for exercise 14. Exercise 15, we'll start at page 158. And so on page 158, I want you to know from page 158, 159, and 160, those pictures, I want you to know the red numbers of the following numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 16, 17, 18, 19. So I want you to know the red numbers that are 1 through 10, and then 16, 17, 18, and 19 for page 158, 159, and 160. And then on page 161, I want you to know the multiple choice. And on page 162, I want you to know the number of bones that are related to those structures in the lower extremities. Okay, that is it. So I'm using the exact questions that are from the lab. That's why it cannot be open book. And I will pull each person individually and I will give you an oral exam. And it's probably going to be close to 25 questions. I haven't gotten the exact questions, but close to 25 questions that I will ask, and each student will have time to actually answer the question, and I will just pull each student in individually. And it's an oral exam, so you have to be camera on and looking at the screen, looking at me as I ask the questions. Okay, hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you'll put some time in and actually study, memorize the bones, memorize the different planes and reference points in the body. And we're all trying to get through this together. So I will see you next week. All right, thank you.